This video is going to explain how you can build your own hydroponic NFT channels. Now, the NFT stands, of course, for Nutrient Film Technique. Now, the kit consists of 20 laser cut Lexan end caps and 10 drains for your channels. Now, I built a few of these systems, and the toughest thing I found was trying to cap the ends. And then I came up with this. All the parts that you need, I'm going to give you a list of the SKU numbers, necessary parts and tools at the end of the video to build these channels. And everything can be purchased at two places: your local hydroponic shop and Home Depot. Now, start off with a 2x3 vinyl downspout, 8 foot long. You notice on this side here we have our holes drilled in for our net cups. I have them drilled 8 inches on center. I find that's the best spacing for your leafy greens, such as your lettuces and your basils and so forth. All right. On the one end here, you're going to notice we have a 1/4 inch hole. That's going to allow us to put our feed line in. It's going to feed our channels a pint every minute. And then on the other end, we have our 3/4 inch hole. It's going to allow us to put our drain in. And I've done a few of these systems. They work out perfect. As you know, if you were to buy these channels from a manufacturer, they cost about $45 a piece plus shipping. Downspouts, $8. Then you have your, it costs your hole saws and so forth. But the kit that I have is going to basically cap off this end here. Now, with glue you're going to use the Gorilla Glue. I've tried a few other things. This works the best. It expands, it foams, and what it does, it hydrostatically locks this end cap into your channel. When it's done, it's going to look something like this. It's not too pretty, but if you just spray this with some white spray paint, she'll look perfect. Now, in the directions for the glue, it says they want you to wet both surfaces. I suspect that it causes a reaction and it causes it to foam up like this. So what we're going to do is just spray this channel down, spray the end cap down, just take a little glue, coat the sides. Now when you go to place this in, you're going to want to put it on an angle. Put it on an angle in, and then you're going to be able to push it up and mount it inside. Just like this here. Push it here. You can actually take a little screwdriver, stick it on the end. You want to hold it on the bottom. And basically just real slow, push it up inside. Perfect. Now you see we have a little bit of a gap around the edge. Here about 3/8 of an inch, that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead on the bottom portion here, we're going to put some more glue in right along the edge. Take a little brush, just work it in. And that's it. You'll notice that it's kind of seeping inside a little bit because there are ridges here. These are not perfect. And that's where this glue really comes in effect, is it expands and it basically seals up all those grooves, just like this. Alright. Now you don't want to do 2 end caps at once because you're going to disturb this and this could pop out. So we're going to go ahead and put this one aside. And we're going to grab another one and we're going to do the opposite end. Alright. Here's our other end. This is one for our drain. Let's spray it with a little bit of water. Let's put our cap. Now I'm wearing these gloves because if you get this Gorilla Glue on your hands, it's definitely going to affect your love life because this stuff doesn't come off for a while and no one wants their hands to look like a gorilla. So that's why they may be called a Gorilla Glue. Alright, now I got a nice even. Here. Put a small layer on this here. Like I said, it doesn't look pretty, but it does a job, and you don't need to go too crazy with the glue. Guess you're going to push it in like this on an angle. Start your bottom and just go ahead and push the top up. Now it helps if you do this if these downspouts are sitting in the sun. It makes it a little bit softer like any other plastic. That's it. Let's put a little bit more glue around the edges. If you feel there's not enough glue or it didn't seal after the glue is dried, you always go back and add a little bit more. Okay. Now for our drain. If you notice, the drains here have 2 O-rings. I don't like to put an O-ring on this side here because what we want to do is we want to get this drain as close to the bottom as possible. We don't want to add another, 1/8 inch of a space in there. So we want it to lay as close to the bottom of the channel as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this aside. I'm not going to install this now because I don't want to disturb this. I grab another one. All right. There we go. Now what I do here is, even though when the end caps are on later on, you could always I'm going to put this in as if this cap is already on. So what we're going to do is put a light little film of glue here. Actually, let's spray it up again. Through our brush. What you can do is stick this here like this. Pull it right through. See, I didn't even have to stick my finger through there because when you put this in, you're going to have your end cap on. The reason why we do this second is because it's easier to manipulate the cap with this hole in the bottom. So go ahead and put this here. You're going to drop your O-ring right on top. Go ahead and on. Alright. Now you see how nice and low that is. That's not going to allow any water to pool up on your channel. Now, when you build your channels, if you build 10 channels, I would take one channel and make it a nursery channel. And what I mean by nursery channel is, if you drop these net pots in, now I have this little cutaway one here we can look at. Okay. If you drop your net pot in, and then you have your medium in there like Rockwell, what have you, you notice that we have a space here about 1/4 inch to 3/8. Now the nutrient film technique, the reason why it works so well is it puts a slight amount of nutrient-rich water on the bottom, about 1 to 3 millimeters. Not enough to touch the bottom of your net cup and to moisten your medium. Because at this point you're going to have a small plant growing, but not enough for any roots to come out to basically drink off the bottom of the NFT system. So what I've done here is, and that's the reason why I use such large drains, is you could take a 3/4 inch piece of poly and drop it right in. Just pushes right on in there. And what you want to do is put it down deep enough where you say, okay, it's about 3/8 to 1/2 inch high. Difference here. So when you put this in here, the water line will then come above your net cup. And this is what we call nursery channel. If you notice, these holes are very close together. Each of these channels here have about 15, depending on what size net cups you use and your spacing. I space about 8 inches apart. You get about 15 holes on an 8-foot run. These channels that I have here are a little bit shorter, just so I don't have to wrestle an 8-foot run on video here. Now when you put them close together like this, also on your NFT system, over an 8 or 10 foot run, you should have about 1 inch elevation on the water feed portion of it. So basically all your nutrient rich water comes and drains down. So you want one end to be about 1 inch high. On the nursery portion, you want to keep it almost flat, because basically you want to get a pool of water on the bottom enough to touch your net cup, and you don't want one side to be 3/4 inch full and the other side to be 1/4 inch full. So you kind of want to level this portion off. And the reason why nursery channels have so many of them, because you want to do what they, like a crop rotation. You want to have all your seedlings started, and then after they start getting their root zone, enough roots to come down and touch the bottom of your channels, you want to go ahead and move them what they call the finishing channels. Now, I have this hole here cut so you could adjust this. And if you don't want any dirt and debris in here, because a lot of people are going to have this system outside, you could take another piece. I always suggest buying more than you need, because you're going to screw this up. We all do. You're going to grab a piece here, and this can just snap right over the edge, and it just covers that hole right up, so no dirt and debris falls in your channel. Alright, I hope this helps you out. This system worked great for me. Like I said, the channels usually run about $45 if you buy them commercially. You could build a 10 channel system for under $200. You could do it at home.